Do you guys smell that too? Smells like Survival World episode 6. Because that's exactly what it is. Let's get it. A really weird intro, but I don't care. Last episode, I built this guy. Look how tall he is. Wow. Also, there's pillagers up there because they're really stupid. I guess it's not their fault, but they spawned up there. Look at them being weirdos. Anyway, this is my enchanting tower. If you missed last episode, and if you did miss it, go watch it, please. It'll make me happy. Really nice build, I think. It's huge. It turned out way bigger than I was expecting it to. But I think I pulled it off quite well. And I also built probably my favorite custom tree in this world so far. I think it looks like a tree, like an actual tree, not just a Minecraft tree. Love it. I did a little bit of something between episodes. I live streamed, and I was just fishing. My goal was to get to level 30, because I wanted to start this episode off by enchanting my pickaxe with a level 30 enchant. But as you can see, I'm level 17, and no, I didn't die again. But I fished up a really good fishing rod, and I combined it with the other one I was using. That was where all my levels went. That took like 21 levels, I think. So now we have a Lure 3, Unbreaking 3, Mending fishing rod. I believe the fishing rod I just recently fished up in that stream was Lure 2 and Mending. So when I combined it with the other one, this is what we got. Also got all of these goodies. That's not the right chest. I got all of these goodies. Whole bunch more food, couple more enchanted books that are actually pretty decent. This was my first thing that I caught, by the way, this enchanted book. So kind of set the tone for the entire stream. That whole stream is uploaded on my channel if you want to go back and watch it. If not, this is everything I got. Got a couple other fishing rods as well, but they're not as great. Luck of the C2 down here on this one's pretty good. I can actually add that to my current fishing rod, but I'm not going to worry about that. I did get another name tag though, so that is super useful. I will clear all that junk up at some point. I really want to focus on getting to level 30 right now. I think that's the first thing I want to do in this episode. And I'm even going to do this before I name any new YouTube members. Because I gained like 14 since my last session of naming YouTube members, I think. Somewhere around there. And I'm pretty sure I've filled up an entire barrel. Yeah, I have 29 YouTube members. That's more than a barrel's worth of spots. So I guess I gotta cut into my egg barrel over here. That's sad. No, it's not at all. But if you don't know, if you become a YouTube member, if you become a Shram, I will name a block after you in this world. I normally do it at the beginning of episodes, but this one's going to be a little bit different. It's still going to be near the beginning, but not the complete beginning, because, you know, I don't want to use all those levels before I enchant. I'd rather enchant first and then name everything. We also got 2 new pups. Look at this, 2 new animals. This was last episode as I was on my way back from the mangrove swamp that I finally found. But yeah, on my way back, I got these 2 beautiful pups. I will be naming them shortly as well. But to begin, I'm going to go to the Nether. And I figured while I was doing this, I could go back in the comments of last episode and answer some questions that were left. I asked last time for you to leave me questions so I can answer them when I'm doing random stuff in this world. I got so many questions as well. I think I pretty naively thought that I'd be able to answer the majority of them in this video and then just respond to the rest. But I don't really think I'm going to be able to do that, so I'm probably going to have to answer these questions across a couple videos. Because of that, I'm not going to ask for any more questions for a little while. I got a lot. But first question here is from Hunter Lawrence. They ask, do I do this full time or do I work during the day? If so, what do you do? I think a couple people actually asked about like my IRL job and stuff. So at the moment, I am waiting to start a new job. That's kind of why these episodes have been out fairly frequently. I've had a lot of time off. I've had like the entire month of October off so far. But I will be starting my new job early November. So when that happens, I think the uploads are going to slow down a little bit. I might have to push them back like a week or so, maybe a couple days. I'll still try to upload as often as I can, but it's not going to be once a week like I've been able to do for the last couple videos. And as for what I do, the new job, I'm just going to be a salesman. Just switching jobs. I used to work in a warehouse, and now I don't. Next up, we got Savage, and they asked, how can you keep posting on the same map without getting bored? Honestly, the main reason why I continue to upload on the same world over and over and over again, and what keeps me motivated, is you guys. The fact that I'm making content that people actually want to watch, that motivates the hell out of me, I'm not gonna lie. But also, aside from that, just, you know, this is just how I like to play the game, but playing the game a lot slower and not really progressing too fast and just building what you want to build, that helps me out a lot too. If I just like beat the Ender Dragon on the first episode, like some hardcore content creators do, and absolutely nothing against those guys, or those people, you know, But if I played the game like that, I think I would get bored so fast. Even in my hardcore world, I didn't take it that fast. I still waited like a couple 100 days to beat the Ender Dragon. But by far, the thing that motivates me the most is all of you guys. All the comments you guys leave, all the likes you guys leave. Makes me want to play this world forever. Skylar Litchfield asks, have you played Bedrock Edition and Story Mode, and can I please use Warped Wood in your next roof? I don't know if I'm going to use Warped Wood today in my next roof. Not going to lie. I will use it at some point, but I don't know if it's going to fit the theme of today's build, which I haven't even mentioned yet, but I'll get to that at some point. And then the first part of the question, have I played Bedrock and Story Mode? I have never played Story Mode. And honestly, I don't know if I've played Bedrock because I first started playing Minecraft on the 360, on Xbox 360, a really long time ago. I feel like the Minecraft editions completely split into two different editions sometime after I started playing on the 360. I could be wrong on that. I could have actually just played Bedrock and have no idea. But I did start on the Xbox 360, and then I eventually transitioned to PC. But lately, I have not played Bedrock at all. I have only played Java. And I need to make a better way to get around my nether. This is horrible. Gabba King FN asks me, what football team do I support? I'm an Eagles fan. Go Birds. I'm from Eastern Pennsylvania, so I feel like it only makes sense. I've been a diehard Eagles fan like my entire life, ever since I can remember watching football. Ethan Still Games 6185 asks me what my favorite build style is, and if I can give any tips for a rustic town build. I'm gonna be a little basic with the tip answer, but look up a lot of inspiration. That's what I do for everything. Just Google like rustic house or rustic like blacksmith, whatever you're building. Just look it up on Google and then just kind of see what a bunch of other people are doing. That is the best tip I can give for building, like at all. I still do that. I think a lot of people probably still do that. Even really good builders, I'm sure they take inspiration from something. So I'm sorry if that's a pretty basic answer, but that's honestly the best advice I could give. It works really well. I will always say this as well whenever I give that piece of advice, because I've given that a lot. But if you take a build, take inspiration from someone's build, and you're making a video about it or posting it anywhere, please credit them. Don't be weird. Don't just play it off as yours. I give credit to like everything that I take inspiration from, even if it's just like a random picture that I saw on Twitter and I liked like the shape of one of the rooms or something. I'll still give credit because it just feels right to me. And the second part of their question, I guess the first part of their question, what's my favorite build style? It's definitely medieval. That's the build style I always go with. I just feel like that translates the best to Minecraft, and I love it. It's also probably one of the easiest. I need to branch out. I'm just scared. The last question I'm going to answer in this video is by Amy, and they ask, what does Shrammy come from? Does it have any particular meaning? No, not really. It's just like a nickname I had growing up based on my last name. That's literally it. Kind of boring. But I've just been always called that by my friends. A lot of my friends still call me Shram. Even, you know, like non-YouTube friends and stuff. That's kind of all there is to it. It's really nothing special. But thank you all so much for the questions. I will be back and answering more next video. Like I said, there's still a lot. So if I didn't answer your question today, I'm sorry, but I mean, that just means you have to watch the next video. Oh no, what a pain that would be, you know? You gotta watch me build something amazing again? Nah, I can't. Okay. I like having a little bit of a cocky persona sometimes, but I can't keep it up for too long. You know what? I think I'm gonna get to level 33, because then this way I can enchant an axe as well. Pickaxe and an axe makes the most sense just for gathering materials. Okay, there's level 33. Let's hop back through the nether portal and let's see what my first two level 30 enchants are going to be. I can hear the pillagers from up here. They're like right over there. That's so funny. All right, so I'm gonna start with the pickaxe, Unbreaking 3, and Efficiency 4. That's not bad. Efficiency 4 and Unbreaking 3. Okay, got the same exact enchants. Punch 1. That's such a bad level 30 enchant. All right, now that I've done this, let's go name all the YouTube members. All of the new YouTube members have now been named. So let me introduce you all to the new Shramalams. We got Brittany Hall, Heidi Hoffland. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of these, by the way. Daniel Versteeg, again, I don't know. I'm sorry. We got Rakor. We got El Raccoon De Hyperion. AMDQ, Sergio Ballesteros, Bunny, Mindset Blind, Daniel Butkovic, Callum Baker, and Lou Knowles. I feel like I mispronounced plenty of those, and I severely apologize if I did. We also have Zachy Poo Poo. What a name. But he wants to be named after a coral block. So I just put him up on a sign for now. And whenever I get coral blocks, I will name him after one. So this is officially the first YouTube member barrel completely filled in. Look at it. Oh, I have to change this name. I'm gonna go do that in a second. but it's all completely done now. Crazy. So now you guys are just going to be hanging out with eggs. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, so Ozil commented. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly now. But they commented and said that the name is just Ozil and not Ozils. I put the S at the end. I just usually copy the YouTube name. Their name was, at the time, Ozil's POV. So, there we go. Ozil, your name has been changed. Alright, so now we officially have one YouTube member barrel. That looks insane. I'm not exactly done naming things. Let me go get Rut named real fast with this name tag, and then I will unofficially, but also kind of officially, name the dogs. So there's Rut and Bjorn. First 3 animals have been named. Also name this chicken next time. Damn, that would have been cool. Okay, hold on. Now let me get names for the dogs, and then I can progress on this episode. One name I'm going to use for sure for one of these dogs. I'm just going to go to the one on the left here. This one's going to be named Phantom. A couple of people actually suggested that name, and I think it's really cool. It fits in nicely with Ghost. I like Phantom quite a bit. And the second dog is going to be named Mangrove. All right, we found a mangrove swamp right before I found the dog. So his name is Mangrove and his middle name is Swamp. So that we're gonna have Phantom and Mangrove Swamp, I guess. I'm not gonna name the second dog completely Mangrove Swamp. I think middle name Swamp is great. I also want to take a moment to say that I got a bunch of comments of like name suggestions for the dogs that were based on real dogs people had who have passed away. And firstly, I just want to say I'm so sorry. It sucks so bad losing an animal. I understand. I just didn't want to take any of those names for these dogs because I would have felt bad to every other dog name I didn't take of someone, you know, whose dog passed away. I got a bunch of those comments. I didn't want to try to pick favorites between those dogs. That felt wrong. I'm sorry. I just wanted to bring that up. I'm really sorry for your loss, but that's why I didn't pick any of those names. Oh man, okay, that was a bit of a low point of the video. I'm sorry. Let's try to get the spirits back up. What do I want to do now? Plant a field? Maybe? That could be fun. I only have this one wheat field. So I think making more around the barn would make sense. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna make a carrot and a potato field. Look at me go, making plans. And then after I do this, I can start working on the main build for the episode, which I'm sure you've seen in the title and the thumbnail already, but I wanna kind of go over it. I wanna make a super smelter. I don't really need one right now, but I'm probably going to need one at some point. And just getting one established pretty early on, well, I say early, it's day 287, but getting one established now I think would be a pretty good idea. They're not too hard to make, they just take a lot of iron, but that's fine. I think I want to put it somewhere around where I'm standing now. I'm gonna have to do some terraforming for sure. I think this building being like the entrance to my little civilization could be kind of nice. I'll go into way more detail about this obviously when I start building, but I'm gonna give you my basic plan for right now, the shape of the build. I think I kind of have this figured out. I want to have a long rectangular build, like over here or something. That's going to be where the actual super smelter is. Then I want to have a bridge connecting to another building, and where you can like walk underneath the bridge. And I kind of want that to act as like the main entryway to my whole civilization thing here. And then on the right of the bridge, we're going to have another long rectangle, probably oriented differently. But we're gonna have another long rectangular building that's going to be like the house, I guess, for the blacksmith or something. Just where the guy can stay and, you know, live next to where he does his job. That's gonna be like a building looking like this. Not the exact shape, but it'll be like this kind of vibe. Whereas like the super smelter building, I think is going to mainly be out of stones. That's my incredibly tentative plan. I want it to go over here somewhere. That was why I really wanted to enchant a pickaxe, by the way, because I think I'm going to use a lot of stone for this build. But that's not what we're working on at the moment. At the moment, I'm working on 2 farms. So let me go get a whole bunch of stone blocks. Hopefully I have enough to make 2 quick farms. If not, I have to go dig out a little bit. That's fine. I'm just going to go through the same exact process that I used in this first farm, the wheat farm. That was in episode 2 when we, you know, built this building. I'm going to go through this same exact thought process. And it's honestly been a little while since I've had a time-lapse. I don't think I actually time-lapsed any of the tower last episode. So I'm going to cut it to a little farming time-lapse. I really like what it looks like when you make crop fields in a time-lapse. It's pretty satisfying when you till all the ground, you know? So I think that would look nice over here. So let me plant 2 more fields, and I'll be back afterwards. There are now 2 more crop fields over here. This one is carrots, and this one back there is potatoes. Pretty much the same style as the first one. They all look just slightly different. This one back here has more moss than the rest. This one over here has a little bit of tuff broken into it. Just wanted to differentiate them a little bit. They're all about the same though. Get the same vibe, right? At this point in the video, I want to start prepping the area for the main build. And I briefly touched on this, but it's going to go like over here-ish. Let me pop back into free cam again. It'll go like here-ish. But in order to prep this area, I need to do probably a lot of terraforming. I think what I'm going to do is level off like a good chunk of this area completely. I'll probably have a couple different areas of elevation, but it's not going to be too drastic. How much dirt do I even have though? I might not have enough. I have a decent amount of dirt. I don't know how far this is going to get me, but I suppose I'll find out. And watching me place dirt is probably incredibly boring, so I'm just going to put my head down, watch some football, as it is Sunday at the moment, and terraform a whole lot of land over here. Yeah, this dirt did not get me very far. I'm completely out of dirt once more. Oh, that Enderman is in a block. Interesting. I'm gonna let you just keep doing you, man. I think this is all the terraforming I'm gonna do for today. There should be enough room for my new building that I have in mind. Still have a bunch of work to do back here. I'm unsure if I want to bring this completely down or if I want to have like a retaining wall holding up this whole thing. Or maybe not the whole thing. Maybe I'll have a retaining wall hold up like half of it. Jut out a little bit more over here. I don't know just yet. I'm probably gonna have a big like terraforming session in one of these videos because I have to fix up over here too. Like this whole area is kind of gross. But if I do it all at one time, I might not be able to do the best job. I like doing it in little increments. I think it gets the best outcome, you know? Over here still has to be kind of done. Back there has to be touched up. So I'll return to terraforming at some point. I'll probably have an episode as well sometime in the future where I kind of just go through and revamp a lot of this area in general. Like the pathway is still just, you know, regular path block. I'm probably going to texture that up. There needs to be some like grass and leaves and stuff probably around these buildings too. Maybe not leaves, but definitely grass in a lot of these areas. There's a lot of work that could still be done to my previous builds, but like I said, I will work on that in a future episode. Now though, I have to go gather materials for this build, and I'm honestly not exactly sure what materials I want to use. So let me go think for a little while, and I'll be back with some color palette. I've been thinking for a little while, and I feel like I've come up with a pretty cool color palette. So this is going to be 2 separate buildings, pretty much connected by a bridge over top. So the left building, where the super smelter is actually going to go, I think I'm going to mainly make the walls out of stone stuff, like gray blocks. So like these tough bricks, the tough blocks, cobblestone as well. And we also probably are going to throw in some andesite as some highlights, and then some regular stone, which I actually don't want to put up there because I don't want to have to resmelt this. And then as for the roof up here, I kind of want to make it mostly out of bricks. So we're going to have another like red roof, but it'll be a slightly different shade of red once again. And then also in the roof here, we can mix in some granite and probably some like coarse dirt for some darker patches. The granite and the coarse dirt have a pretty similar texture, and I think they blend in pretty nicely together. So that'll be the left side where all the work is actually going down. And let me sleep quick, and then I'll tell you guys about the right side. Over here then, I think I'm going to have a stone foundation once again, but I'm thinking I'll mainly make it out of the cobblestone, the smooth stone. I'm actually going to throw down a couple blocks. And then the mossy cobblestone and moss, which I actually don't have on me right now. Whatever, you get the idea. And then on top of this, we'll be working in the usual wall color, but I'm going to change it up slightly. So I'm still definitely going to have the stripped oak, but I think I want to mainly make it out of birch. And then we're going to use the stripped oak every so often as like shadowy parts. This section over here will be 2 stories tall. And then the roof over here on this section going to be the same blocks as over there. I just don't have enough bricks to really show it off, you know? That's the main idea then. I think this will look pretty cool together. This section over here, the one that's mainly out of stone, I also want to have like 1 or 2 really big chimneys, and I'll probably use the deep slate and basalt kind of gradient that were used in the wall over here. I'll probably use this to darken up the stone around the chimney. I think that'll look really cool. Again, I don't really want to place any of the deep slate because I'll have to resmelt it. And then one other thing with this left side, I also have some mud. Now I don't know if I want to use the mud for like the roof. That could look kind of cool. Or I might just break in a little bit of mud into the walls. Looks really messy now because it's like such a small scale. But if you build with stone, you can kind of just really easily break in mud, and it looks kind of like it's supposed to be there. It looks like it's just stone covered in mud. It's a pretty cool effect. I think this build is going to turn out really nicely. Got a nice color palette. I feel like I can make this one work. Let me go gather up a whole bunch of each of these materials, and I'll be back once I fill up like an entire chest, probably, worth of stuff. I nearly filled up this entire double chest with materials for this build, and there is certainly more things I'm gonna have to go get. Just looking now, I'm probably gonna need more birch wood and likely more oak wood as well. And then I'll probably have to go get some more stones just from my house. Oh, I didn't get any tuff just now. Just noticing that. That's a little bit annoying. I should probably just go gather like 3 stacks of that real fast. Yeah, but before I do that, let me set up a very, very starter-worthy super smelter, because I need to smelt up all of my bricks. Which actually means I have to break all of this clay once again. Alright, I got a lot of these clay balls. So, let me smelt them down. Gonna be getting a ton of bricks here in a minute. This should smelt, hopefully, while I'm getting the tuff. But it'll certainly smelt while I'm building this, so that should be finished soon enough. I really thought I was done getting materials, but here we are. It's fine though, it shouldn't take long to get tuff, considering this new pickaxe that I have. Also, yeah, a lot of people comment about the emeralds that I've been passing. I just don't even process that emeralds are there. I feel like it's almost pointless to mine them. Maybe that's just me, but here, I'll mine this one. We got 1 emerald. I just completely tune them out, because I pretty much always just get my emeralds through villagers. I don't really see the point in mining them. Especially without fortune, but even with fortune, you still don't get that many. So that's for everyone who's been commenting about emeralds in this series. I've gotten plenty of comments. All right, I got like 4 more stacks of tuff now. That'll hopefully be enough for this whole build. Now with this, it is finally time to start building. So I'm just gonna start throwing down some of this tough brick and regular tuff mixed in. Let's go 19 blocks this way, and then I'm gonna have to extend this to like 9. Oh, this is gonna be large. You know what? I actually really mainly want these tough bricks on the bottom layer. So let me take out some of this regular tuff. Oh, another wandering trader. Literally just spawned. This might be the worst wandering trader I've ever seen. And pillagers spawned. I have killed so many waves of pillagers. You guys are getting annoying. All right, I've almost entirely phased out these tough bricks. I'm only gonna throw a couple more on this level. And then we'll start introducing some regular stone as well. Let me take a step back here for a minute. Let's see what this looks like. I think it's looking pretty good. Texturing is definitely on its way. These are what the walls are looking like at the moment, and I quite like them. It's coming along pretty well, I think. It's just, you know, pretty easy blocks to use together, the tough bricks, the tough, and the stone. But it always looks good, in my opinion. I think I got the walls to a height that I'm comfortable with, so I can start working on the roof. And I have an idea of how this is going to go. This is also where some andesite is going to come into play. I just need to figure out if I want to go up 1 block or 2 blocks. Let me do 1 for now. And since I'm waiting on my stone to smelt, I'm just going to use all cobblestone, and then I can always come back and replace this. I think I want the roof to be taller. I don't think that 1 block is just going to work. I'm going to be putting walls on the edges here, but still, I don't think that's going to be tall enough. I just don't want to go too tall. So let me see what this looks like. This might be the opposite end of the spectrum. You know what? I actually think that looks pretty good. Yeah, I thought that was going to be too tall, but it certainly isn't. All right, cool. I actually quite like that. This is going to be another pretty big build for today because I have to build an entirely separate building as well, aside from this one. And this one building might take me a while. But the walls are almost done. I would say like 85% textured, maybe 90% textured. I still have to replace some of this cobblestone with regular stone, and I do want to also throw in some mud. But I'm going to put in the roof first, and then I'll do the rest of that stuff. So let me take some of these bricks that have already smelted, make them all into brick blocks, which is only a stack there. That's tragic. I'm going to grab some granite, some coarse dirt. I also have some rooted dirt. I don't know if I'm going to use any, but I grabbed some just in case. I think it's mainly going to be bricks, granite, and coarse dirt. I just went ahead and put some walls on the tops here. And I really like this. The shape of that roof is coming along pretty nicely. So now I can throw on the inside part of the roof, which is going to mainly be out of bricks. I don't know about mainly. That might be a bit of a stretch, but there's going to be a lot of bricks in this roof for sure. And I also want to throw in some granite as well, to add some texture and to save on materials, more importantly, because getting a lot of bricks sucks. And then I do think in some of these sections I can put in some coarse dirt, because the coarse dirt and granite look pretty decent together, actually. Or maybe I should use regular dirt instead of coarse dirt. Or maybe I should use both. I think I'm gonna use both. I think the coarse dirt to granite is a little bit too drastic. That's pretty good, with a little bit of dirt in the corner. It darkens those little areas, and I think it adds a nice effect. Okay, I think that's good. That's good for the roof. Now I just have to do that on the other side. Let me briefly describe what I did with these little patches of dirt, just in case anyone is trying to follow along with this technique. It's the same thing that I've been doing on a lot of the roofs, but I'll just kind of describe the process once again. So, I'm starting with coarse dirt as the darkest spot. As you can see up there, there's a bunch of coarse dirt. Every block that's touching the coarse dirt, I'm gonna put regular dirt. You can replicate this with any gradient pretty much. Just as long as you stay consistent, it should look good. So whatever block is touching this stage of the gradient, I'm gonna put the next stage. You can kind of generalize it that way. So in this case, it's coarse dirt and dirt. And I try to make it not only the block just completely adjacent, but sometimes I'll extend it a couple more. Like right here, we have 2 blocks of dirt instead of just this one. Same thing up here. I think it just makes the build look a little bit better that way. And you get a more like natural looking transition between the gradients. So then next up, every block that's touching this dirt, I will put the next stage of our gradient, which is granite. And then last but not least, gonna finish it off with some bricks. And that is how you get this effect. Never really expected to use dirt in a roof, but here we are. This is definitely something I've been trying to get better at in this game. Rather than thinking of the blocks as what they are in the game, I'm just trying to think of them as colors. So instead of thinking that this is dirt, I'm thinking that it's just brown with like a little bit of gray in here, you know? And it has a lot of texture to it. That's what I'm trying to think of it as. And I think it works a lot better that way. I actually really like this roof. Man, every episode, I impress myself more and more. Look at me go. This kind of looks like a church. Again, though, who cares? I feel like none of my builds look like what they're supposed to be. I mean, this kind of looks like a wizard tower, I guess. But this doesn't look like a mine building. This doesn't look like a barn. So this doesn't have to look like a smeltery. I'm going to put 2 big chimneys on this, or I don't know if it's going to be 2. At least 1 big chimney on this. Maybe once I do that, it'll be better. For now, though, it's definitely giving some church vibes. There is something I would like to do for the outside, though, because it looks kind of weird that it just goes straight from the stone right into the roof here. I want to put a little trim around the edge of this. So I'm going to grab a bunch of granite slabs, I think. I don't know if spruce trap doors will look good with this, but I mean, they are spruce trap doors. They look good with pretty much everything. What if I just do this all the way across? I'm gonna try it. Yeah, that works. Gonna do this on the other side here then. And then I think I might work on the chimney. I can probably put some brick slabs in this, but whatever. I'll come back and change it if I am not too lazy later. There's a very good chance I only have enough materials to make 1 chimney. If that's the case, we might only make 1. I don't know. But I want the chimney to be out of deep slate, basalt, and then tough. Very much like how I did this chimney here in the mine building. So as you can see, we have this side of the deep slate showing, this side of the basalt showing. I think that'll look the best here. And this is going to be a wonky chimney. It's not going to look perfect. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's quite big, but that's exactly what I wanted. I should be able to like shape this out a little bit better too with some walls. But let me just get everything down first, and then I'll work on that. It might look a little weird, but I like this. It looks pretty good from over here too. All right, that's a nice chimney. I don't think I'm gonna put another one on. I think this one is probably good enough. I did want to darken up these blocks like around the chimney though on the wall, but I don't have any more basalt or deep slate or anything. So I'll have to do that near the end when I'm putting the final touches on if I can remember. I do want to go through now though and get rid of a lot of this cobblestone I put just as some placeholder blocks. I'm gonna leave some of it, but I don't want it all here. I think this looks better. And also while I'm up here, let me finish off the roof because this middle section is still not filled in. And this worked out perfectly. Look at that. I love this little fence gate, like wall design thing. Looks so good. All right, and now, if you thought I was done detailing these walls, you're mistaken, because I'm still gonna do stuff. And this is gonna be in the form of mud. So all I'm gonna do is just destroy some of the stone and replace it with mud. So I'm gonna do this all the way around this building. Then it should kind of look something like this, if you're following along at home. I think it looks pretty cool with the mud there, especially with the roof. Alrighty, I got mud around this building now. There's definitely more I wanna do to this building, I want to put an entrance in, probably some windows as well. But I think it's probably time to figure out the building this one's going to be connected to. Once I get that shape completely down, then I can work on the final touch details. So I need a bridge. I'm gonna need to build a bridge that connects this building to the one that doesn't exist yet. Now, I am entirely unsure what blocks I want to use for this bridge. So just for the time being, I'm going to use cobblestone just as the placeholder block. Okay, I think that's probably long enough. I think if we make like a little archway in front of this, it'll look a lot better. I mean, right now it looks horrible. It's just cobblestone and it's completely flat. But I think this is going to be a really, really cool underpass to like walk into the city. Now, building number 2, let's start with the foundation. All right, then over here, this might look small, but it's going to work out, I think. Because the second floor of this building is going to jut out 1 block. I might have a section over here that juts out as well. Yeah, so that'll be the floor plan then. I like that. I think that looks all right. Used a lot more birch in this build than any other build here. And I also even used birch planks. Deviates from the color palette a little bit, but still the vibe is kind of there. And I don't mind it. I think I'll probably come up to like here then for the second floor. Yeah, that should be big enough. I am a little worried that the color palettes between these two buildings are going to be too different. And it might not look good. Actually, no, I'm going to go up 1 more block. I think I went up 5 over there. I think I like 6 more. But yeah, I'm a little worried that the color palette isn't going to mesh too well with one another. Oh well, though. Let's just keep going and let's see what happens. Yeah, it looks pretty weird right now, but I kind of just have the foundation going on. The size of this building will work out fine. It's going to be another like swoopy tall roof, like the one I have over here. It's not going to be that big. It'll be closer to this, I think. Yeah, that'll work out fine. Let me actually throw in the roof. That'll really tell me what this thing's going to look like. All right, so the roof is now on the second building. And this thing is starting to take shape a little bit. Though I still am a little worried that it's not going to mesh too well with this completely like stone building. I've mentioned this before, and I think it was honestly just last episode. But pretty much everything I build, there's a stage where I don't think it's going to look good. And that's kind of where I'm at with this one right now. It's a little different, I guess. It's not that I don't think it's going to look good. I feel like it'll look fine, but I think it's just going to look like 2 separate buildings. Maybe the bridge will bridge the gap between the two. That was horrible. I'm sorry. But yeah, maybe it'll help. I don't know. But enough talking. I'm going to throw in the second floor walls, and then I will be right back when those are done. The walls of this building are now completely in. And as you can see, I used a lot more birch than in the previous buildings in this area. I think they turned out pretty well. I like the shading difference between the stripped oak and the stripped birch. I think it looks pretty cool. I also gathered up some deep slate and some basalt, along with some blackstone as well. I don't know if I'm going to use any blackstone, but if I want to get really dark in the walls, I have the option to now. And you also might notice, I'm level 8 now. And the reason for this is while I was getting the deep slate, I ran into a miniature zombie that was just too much for me to handle. It had an enchanted iron sword, and, you know, he smacked me up. Thankfully, though, I was able to get all my stuff back. Still, unfortunate that I died again. And, you know, once more, I ended up at spawn. That's the problem when you keep sleeping and then destroying your bed right away. I should probably stop doing that. I was getting kind of close to level 30 again, so it's actually really unfortunate that I just died. I was hoping I could enchant pretty soon. Anyway, though, with the new blocks we just gathered, with the deep slate and the basalt and stuff, I want to start working on this bridge connecting these 2 buildings. And hopefully I can come up with something pretty cool here. I'm smelting up all my deep slate, but I'll just take what I have for now. And then also I will grab some of this blackstone. This might be too dark, but I don't know. I'll try to throw it in some places. Let me inset all of these cobblestone blocks 1 block, just so I can have something to place the deep slate up against. Of course, also the basalt, because I want the top texture of this block. And then I also need some tuff, because I want to bleed the deep slate into the tuff. This is becoming one of my favorite gradients. Just these 3 blocks together, I think they look so good. This is kind of where I was talking about. Maybe like the really dark sections, I can break in some blackstone. I don't know if that's too dark though. You know, I kind of like the little patch of blackstone in here. I don't actually think that's too dark. I think I made this bridge 8 blocks across. Oh, I'm kind of stupid. It's fine. I'll make it work. So we're going to have, I guess, a beam in the middle that's 2 blocks wide. I don't really like that too much, but not much I can do about it now. Yeah, I guess it has to be like that, huh? Whatever. I still think it can look nice. You know, let me actually bring this down 1 whole block. I think I'll like that a lot more. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That works. for what I'm going for. Because then we can just have like 2 entrances then into this little village area. Let me build up the same thing on this backside. And then for the actual blocks on the inside here, I think I'm just gonna use mud, granite, and this mud brick. And this still works for the border. This is why I wanted to have a 7 block gap and not an 8, because with 7 this would have just been 1 wall, but it still looks fine, I think. Yeah, okay, I think that works as the bridge. I do have the scaffolding in the way, but just imagine it's not there. I think it looks pretty cool. So now that I've designed that, let's go back through and touch up these buildings because they are both incredibly bare. The window design I would like to use for this part of the building is from some YouTube video. I feel so bad, but I completely forgot where this is from. I modified the design that I saw a little bit, but the base idea was just these fence gates like inset 1 block and then the bamboo trapdoors behind them. And I just really like what that looks like. I put the spruce trapdoors on the outside and the campfires up top. But just that base idea, I completely forgot where I got it from. So if this is your idea, please let me know, and I will certainly give you a shout out. I'm sorry that I forgot. I found the video that I got the window design from. It's from my man Eagle. Look at him up there. Beautiful. He actually used the trapdoors on the side too. That's funny. I only took the interior part. I did that on my own, but I do that all the time. Anyway, that's the place I got the window design from. Thank you, Eagle. I appreciate you. As for the main door for this section, I kind of want to keep it open. You know, like the barn over here is mostly open. Might do the same thing here. Let me grab some spruce and see if I can make a cool like little spruce archway kind of thing. I feel like that's pretty cool, though I might be just trying to convince myself to like it. I don't know. I think it's good enough to rock with for now. Maybe I'll come back and change it later. I kind of think I do want these windows 1 block taller, though. Yeah, I think that window going up 1 block definitely helped. It's a pretty tall building. I feel like this works. Going to add this window design over here as well. Cool. All right, so I'm mostly content with those walls. I kind of just have to run around and do this design and a few other window spots. So let me hold off on that for now, since I kind of have it figured out. And let me work on the window design over here. I think on the right building, I'm just going to keep it incredibly simple and just use my campfire and fence gate design. Though I'm going to have a couple 2 wide windows, but I think that's okay. If you have a 2x2 window, I think using scaffolding works the best. Ow. Hold on. I think using scaffolding works the best for a 2x2 window. I'm still going to use the campfires, and then I will put 2 fence gates. Like that. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. This building, I'm going to use a lot of scaffolding. I'm going to run back through then and decorate these walls a little bit more, and I'll be back, I think, when I'm done with the exteriors completely. So now the exterior of these buildings is completely done. Even the back. Look at me. I did the back of the build. For this one, I didn't really know what to throw back here. It was pretty bland, so I kind of just put this like covered section with some like blackstone and basalt. Also with a pickaxe leaning up against it. A couple cauldrons. I think it looks pretty cool. And then for the wooden structure, I did not know how to decorate the exterior of this. I'm quite bad at exteriors. I'm sure you guys have kind of realized this by now. I mean, like, look at the mine building. I had to take my iron away, so now it looks even worse. But yeah, so I didn't know what to put here, so I kind of just threw some basic storage and a couple leaves and stuff, and some lanterns. I think it looks fine. I also connected up a pathway from this main pathway over here. And I did the interior. I kind of got a little carried away. It's nothing special, but we do have a functioning super smelter in here. It's very small, I'm aware. I think eventually I'm gonna put a bigger one in here. I just didn't have too many hoppers. So I kind of just made what I was able to with the resources I had. I will throw the video in the description that I watched for this little like micro super smelter. It's by iCraft MC, so I'll put it down in the description below. I think he also has a bigger one on that same video. But like I said, I think that required like 30 plus hoppers or something. I only had 16, and that's exactly how many this required. It is fairly functional though, like it works pretty well. I smelted up some food in here and like some iron and stuff. Oh, and I guess some stone. Didn't even mean to do that, but the steak smelted. It was like 2 stacks and 16 or 15 or whatever. That smelted pretty quick. So honestly, this thing should be good enough for me for a little while. I also have a lava farm, but I need dripstone for it. I want to use this as my main fuel source. I'm tired of using coal, and I feel like having that right next to the super smelter is probably a good idea. I will have to hit the mines though and try to find some dripstone. Probably at the start of next episode. I would do that now, but I sort of want to live stream it. And I want to, you know, get this episode out first before I stream again on this world. I don't want to show off the build too much by accident, you know? So anyway, that's kind of the plan for the interior of this building. This is literally the only functional part of this entire place. And yeah, I kind of went a bit overboard again, but that's what I do over here. A little bit of storage back here. I'll probably actually use this too. Like, I think I have my buckets. Yeah, there we go. I have my buckets in one of these chests. There is a stairway up top. This is completely empty back here. Not sure what to throw up here just yet, but there's a lot of room. I can cross this bridge now, and on this side, this entire building is empty. I think this will eventually house a villager, and I will probably decorate that whenever I get villagers in this area. But this floor up here, there's absolutely nothing, and honestly the same with down here. All I did was throw in the floor and a ceiling. So that's the entirety of this build. I think it looks pretty nice. Though I'm not ending the episode just yet. Obviously, I still have to make a custom tree, and I think I'm gonna make another spruce tree. I've been getting a lot of comments of other trees to make, like trees that aren't in Minecraft, like maple and like a willow and stuff like that. I will probably make those eventually, and by probably I mean I definitely will. I want to make more trees that are just, you know, in the game of Minecraft. But I've been outside a little bit lately. I know, it's insane. Minecraft content creator going outside? Ridiculous. But I've just been taking these walks, right? And I've been looking at trees, been studying them, trying to figure out how to actually make a good tree. I want to make more like the one I just made last episode over here. Let me get the best view of this tree. I think it's from right here. Oh, it's so good. But the spruce trees, like the pine trees and stuff around my area, all of the branches like curve up at the end, from what I've noticed. And I want to try to replicate that here. I don't know if I'll be able to accomplish it, but it's worth a shot. So let me go grab a whole butt ton of leaves. I'm probably going to use birch leaves and spruce leaves in conjunction with one another. Man, this is sad. I have one birch tree left in this area, and I'm gonna take all of its leaves. I think I'm gonna follow the theme of like every other episode. I'm gonna put this tree just next to the new build. I think I've done that everywhere so far. Now, what I've noticed is that up top, these trees have very, very small branches. So honestly, I think just this is probably good. And then as we go down, the branches are going to continually get longer. But then I want them to slightly curve up at the end. Nothing like drastic, but that slight curve should look pretty nice. I also noticed that these trees have so many branches on them. I don't know if I'm going to be able to emulate that well here, but I'll do my best. I feel like this looks okay, actually. Branches look a little funky, but I like them. I might throw in a couple more, but honestly, I might just do like little fence gates like this. And kind of string a few of those together to make some really small branches. I like the look of fence gates a lot more than fences when it comes to trees. And honestly, even if they don't connect perfectly like this, it could still be alright. Because if I just put leaves touching both of these fence gates, it honestly should look fine. I think trapdoors will also make as some pretty good small branches. I don't want to go overboard with this, but there are so many branches on these trees. Okay, I think I'm in a pretty good spot with the branches. Now I just have to go fill in all of these leaves. And much like this tree over here that I built last episode, I do want to leave a bunch of air gaps. Because in real trees, you can see the branches a lot, you know? So I'm going to mainly start by just filling in leaves at the ends of the branches, and then I can work my way back in. I'm also trying to place like leaves up higher at the ends of the branches to try to really accentuate the branches like dipping up at the end. I don't know if it's going to work too well, but we shall see, I guess. This is a moment where I really wish we had, like, leaf slabs. I understand why we don't. That doesn't really make any sense. But it would be so useful. I have no idea how this looks. I'm not feeling too good about this one. But I did just put leaves on all the branches. So, let me take a step back. I'm kind of nervous to look at this. You know, that's not that bad. Do I like it? I think I might even like it. Yeah, you can kind of really see the branches like curving up. Some of the branches are a little odd. Like this one here looks a little bit funky. Actually, no, it doesn't really. I kind of like it. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad. For like my own design of a tree, I think it's good. Look at that. I saw something outside and I tried to build it. I might be the greatest. I would absolutely love your feedback on this tree. You could provide your feedback on the entire episode, like the whole build, if you want. but if you could, please tell me if you like this tree. Or if you don't like the tree, let me know what I can change on it. I have a couple pairs of shears on me. I'm gonna go and grab some grass. There's a ton of grass over here, and I feel like most of this area is gonna be covered, so honestly I don't care if it's completely bare. I'm gonna get many stacks of grass. I got like 4.5 stacks of short grass. This should be enough to detail the area. I could run through and add a couple other pieces of foliage, but I think I'm just gonna start with the grass for now. Especially under the tree. I want to make this pretty grassy. Try not to go overkill with this. I'm just kind of placing grass in very small sections here, just around this whole build. I wanted to mention this too, actually, in this episode. I got a couple comments regarding this sword. Someone said to make like a stone in the middle of my pond and put the sword in that stone, and I really like that idea. I just don't want it completely in the middle of the pond because I think that might ruin my fishing experience over here. I don't think I'll be able to fish up all the treasure. I do think I will build a stone, maybe back here somewhere, closer to the mine building. I think that would be kind of cool. I'm not going to do that right now, but I just wanted to point out that I did see that comment. I've been reading every comment, by the way. I don't respond to all of them. I don't favorite all of them, but I definitely read them all. So if you suggest something, I have 100% read it. Okay, I guess I can't say 100%. I have like 95% read it. There's probably some comments that I missed because I've been getting so many. Thank you so much for that, by the way. But yeah, if you suggested something, I most likely saw it. And I will be incorporating a lot of those ideas into this area in the near future. One final thing I would like to do before I end this video is I want to put a sign on every tree that I made, just saying where I made it, like which episode I made it in. I think this could be cool to look back on when I have a whole bunch of trees in this area, just to kind of see the progression. So that one by the starter house was tree number 1. This one over here by the barn is tree number 2. Both of these birch trees were made in episode 3. Maybe I should use a birch sign for this one, but whatever. I have to wander all the way over to the council hall for tree number 4. Well, not tree number 4, but the tree I made in episode number 4. And I think if you compare the spruce tree I made today to this attempt at a spruce tree, the one I made today looks a lot better, I think. My biggest advice for making better trees, I guess, go outside. See what trees actually look like. So this was episode 4. Episode 5, of course, was last episode. That was the tree I made. Oh no! Hold on, I got distracted. I see this. I don't like that. I don't like the dirt there. I'm taking the 2 slabs that were at the front there. This is way more important to me than those 2 slabs. That was almost catastrophic. But episode 5, the tree in that episode was the oak tree I made next to the tower. I still think this one here is my favorite. I just like the shape of the trunk a lot and how it branched off a whole bunch. That was also kind of something that I saw while walking around. I mean, I did watch Mr. Matt Ranger's video on how to make better trees, but this trunk, it definitely looks different than the ones that he made. And again, when I was just like, you know, taking walks and stuff, a lot of the trees I was seeing like split off pretty early on in their trunk. So that's kind of why I did this. And then of course, last but not least, this spruce tree over here. And I'll try to remember to label each of these trees every time I make a new one. And then we can see what the trees look like at the end of this series compared to the beginning. Well, not the end, I guess. This is my forever world. It'll never end. But I guess later on in the series compared to the beginning. I keep seeing incredibly small things I want to change with this tree. And I should probably just end the episode so I don't go crazy. I think I want this one to be spruce. And this one to be spruce. Yeah, I like that more. These birch leaves just blended together from this angle right here. And I think it looks better with the spruce beneath. Anyway, though, I'm going to end the episode. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, though. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.